The tutorial school started originally as more of a tutoring service. Richard Testa, who was the founder, had some students in his living room, and they were using a curriculum, and he would go around and tutor them, help them with what they were learning. Eventually, they felt like they were learning more with him than they were at the schools that they were going to, and so they asked him to do a school during the day. And so he just took the same format and started during the day. And slowly it got larger and larger. I joined in 1990. When I started, we had 8 students. By the end of the next year, 1992, we had 16 students, 3.5 teachers, and more students were calling up almost every day. And so we realized that we had to move. And so we moved in 1992. That summer, we moved into this building that we're in right now. And we started that year with 48 students. So we jumped from 16 to 48. We didn't really know what we were doing. So it took a while for us to really figure out, because we changed the format. At that point, we became a fully democratic school, 1992. And we became a democratic school by creating a school government, for one, and by making the curriculum optional.
At the tutorial school, they accept every student how they are at that moment. It's not like, we're going to get you someplace correct. It's like, you are already correct. You are already wonderful and worth respecting.
I think that there are a couple different types of students who go to tutorial. Some of them are really well-adjusted kids who don't really need a lot of help, but are able to excel greatly and take advantage of the atmosphere and really push themselves to do more than they ever would have been able to in a normal school. And then there are kids like me who really had no other choice. It had to be tutorial or it wasn't going to be any school. And tutorial made it so that I started thinking about having a life and what that meant, what it meant to put effort into living, what it meant to build a life that you could be happy with and really enjoy. And that was because I was given the responsibility. I was given this idea that my life is my own. And once I realized that it was my own, I figured, well, I guess I better make it worth living then. And so that's what I did.
There are a lot of important lessons that I learned at tutorial, primarily self-responsibility and taking responsibility for my actions. In addition, I think the seeds of self-belief and self-confidence probably came from my time at tutorial, which helped me to make some really positive decisions in my life, in my adult life. In addition, I learned how to be silly, which was really great. I mean, I laughed so much at tutorial, and I just let go, and I was just I let my inner child just come out, and I haven't lost that, and that was really important for me.
In so many ways, and the school has prepared me in ways that was unimaginable back then. I think when we all first come to school, and we often spend several months, sometimes several years, not doing much. We do, it's honest. We sit on the couch, we go driving, we go hiking. Sometimes we just don't do anything. So it can feel quite like you're not preparing anything for life. So it was quite unexpected the ways that the schools prepared me. I currently work in the border of Thailand and Burma, working on democracy and human rights in a country that's currently going through a very complicated time, what the United Nations has said is a crimes against humanity, perhaps even genocide. So working in a country like this, it's important to have foundations of what genuine democracy should and could look like. And through the participatory way that the school has kind of cultivated and grown students as teachers and as an education system, it really taught me what that democracy really feels like, and to be able to try to at least vision a country with my fellow colleagues, with my Burmese colleagues, in cultivating a society and people and system and governance and government that is truly based on genuine democracy and human rights. And tutorial's given me all the foundations of that.
That combination of kindness, of respect, of freedom, that I believe is the foundational culture of the tutorial school, has made me so happy to have my kid here. And it feels like a safe place. Kids are not being shamed for who they are. People are not being put down, and it is so lovely, and I feel so lucky that this school exists in my hometown here. It's such a magical, beautiful situation.
In 2000, we went to our first International Democratic Education Conference, which was in Japan that year. And we were so surprised to find that there were schools like ours all over the world. Japan has a lot. Korea, Taiwan has a few now. India has some, and that's just Asia. Europe has a lot, and they have their own organization, the European Union Democratic Education Community. And almost every country in Europe now has a democratic school, and several countries like France, for years there were no democratic schools in France, and then in just 5 years they jumped from 0 to 37 schools. This amazing explosion of schools in France. In England has the oldest still running democratic school, which is called Summerhill, and we just went to visit them just a few weeks ago, which was a really remarkable. It's a beautiful campus that they have, and they started in 1921, so they're almost been going for 100 years. They're about to celebrate that in 2020.